Welcome to another week of Turnpike Sports. I am Dave Weishuttle, and as always, I am joined by my producer and co-host, Doug Weishuttle. Doug, it's bracket time.
Bracketology, March Madness, whatever you want to call it. It's happening.
I have so many papers and so much paperwork in front of me, and I don't even know if it's going to help me one bit.
You know, the only thing I know for the brackets, always there's a number 12 that's going to win. There's always a chance that a 16 will win.
Yeah. Well, I think the whole thing was everyone's talking about what double-digit ranking will make it into the at least Elite Eight. I don't know about the Final Four, but certainly the Elite Eight.
Oh yeah, no. There's always some Cinderella that always makes it far enough that people start thinking maybe they can do it this year. But I don't know.
I think everyone's talking about Murray State, and everyone's looking at. I know they're not double digits, but Ohio State now. Everyone's looking at that. So. A lot of stuff to wade through, a lot of stuff to look at, and
I haven't even made up my brackets yet.
No, not yet. Well, we're recording this on a Wednesday evening, so I'm probably going to get on it pretty soon because like a lot of people, I don't just do one.
I last 2 years I've done one.
Just one? Well,
just
good
one.
For you. I mean, I've done a bunch.
I've entered the same bracket into different things.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Hooters thing, the Fox Sports things, all that stuff. Yeah. I've used the same bracket. Well, I actually do that.
Now there's an extra added thing going on if you're in New Jersey or one of the states that has the legal online sports betting, and even the brick and mortar sports betting. They're doing stuff with the brackets, and
everyone's got a bracket promotion.
I know I have one. And, I'm part of FanDuel, and I know they have a free bracket, I guess, contest, and I'm going to jump in on that. Certainly,
I do PointsBet, and they've got an interesting promo going with their. Doing all 67 teams, 64 teams, whatever it is for the bracket. So I may take a crack at some of that stuff. But, regardless of what you use, you've got a March Madness promotion.
Sure.
And it's going to make it more interesting for everybody this year, even me. And I don't even really follow college basketball during its regular season.
Well, I think everyone follows it now. I mean, just as an excuse to get out of work, they start following.
Well, hey, now with the mobile sports books, you can do it at work.
You can do it at work. You can do it. Well, you know what? A lot of people. We had an office in Boston, and we had a TV there, and our office filled out a bracket challenge, and the TV was always on, so not a lot of work occurred during those
little illegal office gambling.
Especially the first 2 days of the brackets.
That's always
Thursday
the best
and
time.
Friday. Thursday and Friday is always the best time for the brackets. So, like I said, it's a big week on the Turnpike. So let's take a trip down the Turnpike. And today's trip down the Turnpike is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using our promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
Exit 1.
All right, we're at the sports betting plaza on the Turnpike.
Okay.
I don't know how else to call it, but, one quick thing. We were just talking about March Madness. Let me get this out of the way because it has to deal with Rhode Island. Twin River, in both their locations, Tiverton and Lincoln, Rhode Island, are now in the testing stage of doing self-service kiosks. And they're doing this just specifically get them up and running by March Madness because they're having issues with lines being forming at the tellers. So they want to get self-service kiosks so they can put bets in quicker.
I know one. I'm not sure if it's Tiverton or the Lincoln one. It's not a very big sports book. Tiverton, yeah, I guess so.
Tiverton's not a big casino.
No, it's. I guess they would call it a slot parlor.
It's a slot parlor.
Is that the correct term for it? But no, I think these kiosks are great, and I guess they're the first step to possibly a mobile app that will help them.
Well, they're moving close towards more mobile betting in Rhode Island,
and hopefully online betting. So hopefully,
once you get mobile, you have online.
Sure.
But the one thing they're counting on, they are not having a good time with the sports betting right now because they've only made $1.2 million in revenue in February.
Well, first off, they got destroyed
by the Super Bowl
because everyone in Rhode Island is a Patriots fan, and everyone put money on the Patriots, and it killed the two sports books down there.
Well, they need March Madness to get their annual revenue projection. I mean, the entire year is hinging on March Madness, according to what I'm reading about Rhode Island. So, but, that's what they're doing for March Madness. They're getting their self-service kiosks in order. Moving on to some of the bigger stories over the past week, this just recently was announced. Major League Soccer became the fourth betting partner of MGM Resorts.
Well, we knew this was going to happen. I mean, certainly every major sport is going to have a betting partner. It's the data, right? It's the data that's
deal.
The key. It's the data stuff. Yeah.
Well, after Major League Soccer entered into this deal, it leaves NFL only as the major league sport that doesn't have a betting deal.
Well, I'm sure.
And they're going to be stubborn for a while. It's a 4-year deal, non-exclusive. MGM gets the enhanced data, as well as in return they get signage on the field. They're going to have more soccer events in Las Vegas at MGM properties, that sort of thing. And they're also going to be jointly developing and releasing a free-to-play predictive game.
One of those what are they anyway? Are they basically prop bets all the way through the game, or
right now they are? But what I'm understanding is
I shouldn't use the word bet either. They're predictions.
Yeah, they're predictions.
Okay.
What I'm understanding is they're doing something with MLS is similar to what they were doing with the basketball broadcast, the alternative basketball broadcast.
Oh, okay.
They're going to have the things on the screen as an alternative, that sort of thing. So. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with soccer. Soccer has a lot more possibilities in terms of it's more established overseas with some of this betting stuff.
But this one is only for
Major League Soccer.
And that's only the domestic brand of the and by the way, you mentioned domestic brand of the sport. But no, you mentioned more soccer events will be coming to or will try to be coming to Vegas. Does Vegas have an MLS team yet? Or
no.
I shouldn't. I'm so out of the loop in MLS.
I can't say it. They have a soccer team, the Lights.
Okay.
I don't know if it's MLS or or the National North American Soccer League team or whatever it is, but they do have a professional soccer team there.
Okay. All right.
And going back to March Madness now. The American Gaming Association just released a study saying that 47 million Americans will be betting on NCAA tournaments.
Wow.
$4.6 billion wagered on 149 million brackets.
And now, look, I think
this does not even figure into the ones that are done for prizes and free.
Well, that's what I was going to say. This is
betting.
This is actual betting. This is measured betting. When I say measured betting, I mean legal online things you can actually look at. I mean these office pools.
This is legal and illegal.
And illegal.
They're factoring all this stuff.
It's interesting that they can actually estimate.
Well,
that.
they know what's going on with this, but it's $4.6 billion, which is an incredible number. And I think as sports betting gets more legalized more across the United States, you're going to see that get even bigger.
Well, I can't believe that state legislatures don't see this number and say, look, we should get a piece of this. I mean, people in, I don't know, Utah, we know you're betting on sports because you're doing the office pool. Why not get in on this? Maybe, help fund our roads, our hospitals, our schools, and you're having a good time at it too. So I'm not sure why states are really hesitant to jump in on this.
Well, it's a matter of preference in terms of the voters and everything else, and also I think some of the lobbyists haven't gotten to them yet in certain areas. So it's something to keep an eye on. Pennsylvania has released their sports betting revenue figures for the month of I believe it was February. That was last month. Yeah.
Yep.
Land-based handle was $31.5 million, which is down $500,000 despite having 3 more books open up.
Mm-hmm.
So, and again, everyone's quick to point out the online handle, 0, because they don't have it.
Yeah.
At some point, they got to get that going. And I think they're talking June, July.
Yeah, I think someone said something about June, July. I think there was a hearing in one of the legislative houses in Pennsylvania where I guess their gaming commission kind of estimated June, July. I think everyone's going with the safe forecast of summer of 2019.
Yeah, and also in the summer, I know Pennsylvania is going to be doing the truck stop gambling now.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They
I love that.
Some June or July there, too. You're going to see the gambling at those truck stops.
Yeah, so there are 4 truck stops. I believe the company is called Love's Stores, or whatever they're called, truck stops or convenience stores, or where they're going to have gaming machines.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting at the stop on the Pennsylvania highway somewhere.
Do a little gambling.
Yeah. By the way, I want to throw in the excuses that a lot of people are throwing out because the February numbers seem to be off in a lot of states. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, there was only one football game in February.
Yep.
That was the Super Bowl, and that wasn't really good either."
No,
and it's a short month.
Yeah, and
there's 3 less days in it.
In terms of sports betting, you can actually say February is a dead month because football's not there, and football is the king for betting.
Sure, football's one game in February, and that doesn't do much. So that's the excuse. I'm not sure how much it holds water, but hey, that's what they're saying. That's what the experts are saying. That's why February's down.
Well, speaking of land-based versus online, we're going to do a little land-based sportsbook talk here. Philadelphia Sugar House. They're going to be doing their first March Mania promotion.
See, I told you, everyone's doing the March Madness promotions. What was this, March Mania now?
March Mania, this is what they're doing. They're going to be betting options for all 67 Division I games.
That's not like really special, is it?
No, depending on what the options are. I mean, this is one of the few physical sports books that's announced what they're doing.
Okay.
And the big thing is one lucky guest will win 2 tickets to the semifinal and national championship games in Minneapolis. They're giving away a trip.
So
2 trips.
So you got to do really well on your brackets. Is that what they're saying? That's what's happening?
No, they actually,
or at least your first round.
They tied in their app with this.
Oh, you have to use their app?
Their Quick Bet app or Quick Bet function or whatever they do in Sugar House in terms of how they do the bet, whether it's the kiosk or whatever, but it's their Quick Bet function.
Okay.
And that one will be, people who use that will be entered into this drawing for the 2 games or the 2 sets of games and round-trip airfare and hotel accommodations.
Okay, so this is all tied in with their Quick Bet function on the Sugar House
kiosk
casino.
App, whatever is doing it. That's
live window betting.
No, you can't do it.
No, you're not going to do that. Okay,
you can still do it.
Yeah,
but you won't be entered into this contest if you care about the contest.
Okay,
I mean, I know a lot.
It's a good contest. You might as well try it.
I know a lot of bettors that probably won't care.
Well, I think it's pretty good. You got to do a little something.
And 2 other things, actually 3 other things I have to add into the notes here. Nesson, the Red Sox TV station up in Boston area, New England, they're going to be carrying the VSIN show. I'm going to get the name right because I always screw up the name. Follow the Money. They're going to be showing that. So VSIN is now expanding their program into New England, where there is no sports betting other than Rhode Island.
Well, I guess it pumps into Rhode Island.
Yeah.
So it's going to be on Nesson Plus, right? Is that what I'm reading?
Nesson Plus, and then in April it's going to be airing.
That's their pay site.
That's their subscription site.
So I mean, we have a place up in Boston, and we have basic cable, and we have Nesson. Do we have Nesson Plus?
Yeah, but you got to pay for it.
Okay, but we don't have it. It's not on our basic cable.
It's on the system. It's just no access to it.
Just we don't have access because we don't pay the extra for Nesson Plus.
But they're going to be doing it on Nesson. They're going to be replaying it on Nesson from 10 to 1 as well.
10 a.m. to 1
10 a.m. to 1 p.m.
Which is good because I was wondering, you got to get this stuff out in the morning or midday or early evening because all
most
the betting
games
happens
start,
at nighttime.
So they're expanding, and that's nice to see.
Good.
2 new pieces of legislation. Let me Tennessee. I was shocked when I saw this. I didn't put it in the notes because I just saw it this morning before we started taping. They have trashed their original sports betting bill, and the sponsors have rewritten it to get rid of all land-based casino sports books.
Really?
It is now just mobile sports betting.
And now who is...
Lottery.
The lottery is going to be in charge of that?
Yeah. So that's actually a great way to look at it, because you don't need the land-based. Everything is mobile now.
Well, it's very strange because here in New Jersey, if you're going to have mobile, you need a land-based partner, and the land-based partner has to have the gaming license, and the online works under the land-based license. So it's very interesting the way these other states are try and do it and just do the online without the land-based.
Yep. And the last thing of note for sports betting in the past week, new bill introduced in Missouri has the support of the St. Louis Cardinals, the Kansas City Royals, and Major League Baseball.
Gee, why is that?
Because they have what they're calling a royalty to the leagues.
Which basically is what everyone calls
an
integrity fee.
Yeah, so as long as they're getting the money, they're going to support it.
So this is only a bill, right?
It's only a bill right now.
It's only the proposed bill.
Exit 2.
Okay, I'm going to go to a little eSports because they have made it to the big time here.
Yeah.
And by that, I mean they were featured on an episode of The Simpsons.
You hit it big when you get featured on The Simpsons.
What is it, a 30-year cartoon? And it's still hitting the topics the right way. And
sure.
It was an episode titled My Sports.
Okay.
To take off on
Eat My Shorts.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
Yep.
I just got that.
So it was
I read that and I didn't get it. I heard it, then I got it.
Hey, I actually wrote that down in the notes, and I actually started saying it wrong. I started saying My eSports. It said My Sports. But in the episode, Bart gets a new computer and starts playing some online games. In the show, he's glued to the game called Conflict of Enemies, which is basically League of Legends.
It's interesting they chose that because, I was just in a store and I've seen Fortnite T-shirts. I'm surprised.
There is a reason they chose that game.
Okay.
And let me get to it.
All right.
In the episode, he travels to Seoul to play in a world championship match with Homer acting as his coach because he found out how much money kids get because of esports. So he became his coach.
All right.
So, but the reason why they chose League of Legends to base their cartoon game on, Riot Games, which is the creator of League of Legends, was the consultant for the episode.
Oh, product placement.
Exactly.
They had their product placement people working overtime for that one, huh?
I'm sure that's what funded that one episode of The Simpsons was product placement.
Oh boy.
And speaking of broadcast television, EA announced their new broadcast center for esports. This is just for esports. They are not doing.
When you
any
say a
thing.
broadcast center, what does that mean?
They are going to have. You ever see an ESPN broadcast desk where they have all the screens and they have the desk and they're doing the exact same thing. They're going to have.
Where is it going to be located?
That is in. I don't even have that in my notes here. Thank you for pointing that out, making me seem like a real dope here.
Right.
But they're going to have green screens, 4-person broadcast desk, 200 light fixtures. They spent what they said was in the single-digit millions to build this. And one of the interesting things they're going to be doing in this studio, they're going to have eye tracking, which is a system that...
You mean your actual eye?
No, they're not going to track the eye, but they're going to track where the eye is looking at in the game.
Oh, that's what I mean. It's like
they're not going to track the eyeball. They're going to track where the guy's looking, where the gamers are looking, so they can actually see exactly what they're seeing.
Wow, they're really overdoing it with this this training system.
Here was a comparison. Imagine if you could see a real-life quarterback running through his progressions while dodging an aggressive defensive end by climbing into the pocket.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to see exactly what the gamer is looking at piecemeal. Through all the games.
By the way, it's going to be in Redwood Shores, California.
Makes sense.
So
that's EA. That's where EA is.
Where they're at.
Yep. And right now, it's only going to be used for the Madden circuit. But they're hoping to expand it into Legends or
what's the Madden circuit? I mean, is that just football?
The Madden football.
That's just okay.
They have leagues for that.
Okay.
So actually, TBS was showing some of that, and also ESPN did.
So this is going to be like an inside the NFL for esports football.
Yeah.
Right? That's okay.
Yeah. Basically, that's what it is, except it's not going to have that goofy couch that they have now where they're all sitting around like inside the NFL. But, yeah, it's going to be doing that. I don't know exactly what channel they're going to be broadcasting on. I would assume it's going to be one of the channels doing it now anyway, one of the ESPNs or TBS or TNT, because they're getting involved in the esports stuff.
Wow.
Exit 3.
Okay, we're going to go overseas right now to Charing Cross Road in London. How would you like to buy a pint of beer in exchange for so many numbers of miles that you've run?
Oh, wow. You got to be really in good shape.
Well,
look, if I ran that many miles, why would I be drinking beer?
Why not?
I mean,
Well, you deserve a treat if you run 60 miles.
60 miles? Okay.
Yeah.
What does 60 miles get you?
In the promotion they're running here at the Runaway, which is owned by New Balance, the sneaker company.
Runaway is the pub.
Runaway is the pub.
Or restaurant or whatever it is.
It's a pub.
It's a pub.
And there's no money involved. You can't use money in it.
Okay.
All you can do is it's a joint venture between New Balance and Strava, which is a running and cycling tracking social network. Basically, you log your miles that you've run, you log your miles that you've bicycled with this network, and everybody that's part of it that you're connected to in the social network knows exactly your training, how much you've run, how much you've done, all that stuff.
Now, is this on the honor system, or do you just type in, hey, I just ran 10 miles today, or does someone have to actually verify your Fitbit or whatever?
I would assume there are safeguards in place for the unscrupulous runner or bicyclist, but basically, when you log your miles in, you get a runaway card when you join this challenge. You log your miles. The miles get placed onto the card. When you go to the pub, you can exchange your miles for drinks.
Okay.
So it's an interesting idea. I don't know if it's actually going to catch on. I mean, it's great for runners. I mean, it's another social atmosphere for runners to go into.
I mean, is that a big motivation factor for runners to maybe they'll get another mile, get a beer?
Well, I looked at some of the challenges they have. There was run a marathon for one of the challenges, and you can exchange the miles you ran in the marathon for a pint of beer, just one. So I mean, they've set up all different things, different numbers of miles, different events that you're doing. It's mostly for runners more than cyclists because everything was focused on running, not bicycling.
Okay. All right.
But, cyclists can take advantage of this. And upstairs at the bar, you'll find, at the pub, I should say, since we're over in London, fully stocked bar and a pub setting upstairs. And then downstairs, you got basically a gym. You got an area where you can do a strength training session, gym, weights, where you can stretch and work out. That sort of stuff. So it's for people who want to drink as well as for people who don't want to drink.
I guess everything in moderation.
I guess so.
Exit 4.
And finally, TopGolf may have a new competitor in the market.
Can I just say I love TopGolf?
TopGolf was great.
We went to the one in Mount Laurel, New Jersey, which apparently they have a partnership with PointsBet, and there was PointsBet logos everywhere. The PointsBet screen where it had the odds on it and things like that, and
different screens had different stuff on it. You had the normal sports bar stuff with the ESPNs, the Foxes, MLB networks, all that stuff.
But intermixed, you had the screens, the TV screens with the PointsBet information.
Yep. Yeah. And it was nice to see they laid it out nicely. It's also not an overwhelming thing. They have really cool logos for PointsBet everywhere, and it seemed like everybody was enjoying themselves. It's an amazing place. That one in Cherry Hill, which is 3 levels.
Yeah, no, it's 3 levels, and I can't wait to see it in the summertime because it's basically wide open.
Yeah, and right now it's still a little chilly, but there were a lot of people playing golf there.
Yeah, no, there are people taking swings.
Yeah, but they may be getting a competitor in the market by the name of Home Run Dugout.
Okay.
Now, the first one's going to be opening on April 9th.
All right.
What this is, it's basically it's not really a batting cage. Think of TopGolf for a baseball version of TopGolf. Food, drinks, all that stuff.
Is this like a virtual thing, or is that what we're talking about?
No, they're actually going to be throwing baseballs.
Oh, they're actually pitching machines.
Yeah, they have a patent-pending proprietary pitching machine set in the bays, and it pitches ground-up soft toss balls. Yeah. So you're not going to have to worry about someone getting nailed with the foul ball.
I'm sure you're going to have to sign a waiver, though.
Oh, yeah. No,
we got projectiles coming at you. You're going to have to sign something.
This is interesting. The people watching, I'm assuming you basically have to know these people. Otherwise, you're going to get screwed over big time here. they have a touchscreen interface for the pitching machine where you can direct where the pitches are going to go.
Oh, that's interesting. See,
So-
I like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's good. So if you go with a bunch of friends, you're up at bat, and your friends can control the pitch, like a curve to the outside or
Stuff like that. You
All
can
right.
also, if you're by yourself, you can actually set it up so that it's your height, all that stuff.
your
Your strike
Your
zone
strike
is different.
zone?
Yeah,
Okay.
you could do it
All right.
that way too. So, there's also, after you hit the ball, not only are you just in a batting cage, there's a VR setting where you can actually simulate any stadium you want. And you could be knocking the ball out of Citizens Bank Park, Texas Stadium.
That's pretty cool.
So, they've really thought all this out, and it actually sounds like a really, really cool atmosphere kind of thing. They
Sure,
call
I'd
it
give it a shot.
They call it entertainment.
Entertainment.
Yeah.
I mean,
entertainment and food.
Is that a real term that
Who
marketing people are using?
Well,
entertainment.
they are going.
I've never heard that before.
Since this is Texas only,
It's only Texas, huh?
not only are they doing the normal gourmet spin on the ballpark favorites with hot dogs and stuff like that, and peanuts and Cracker Jack too. They're going to have traditional stuff. They're going to have a fully stocked bar with specialty cocktails, Texas craft beers, and Texas wines. I have never seen a Texas wine before.
Okay,
I wouldn't even know what a
I
Texas
don't know.
wine is. But that's what they're doing in Texas. It's launching April 9th. They're already starting to book up their first parties. So
Hey, it sounds like
it's-
fun.
It sounds like it's going to catch on if they do it right.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Hey, can you imagine bringing your little league team there? That'd be great.
Can you imagine, one of the recreational softball teams
Oh,
just
yeah.
going there?
Oh, sure.
That'll be a mess.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's we'll see what happens with that. It'll be interesting. It'd be nice to see competitors like this in different areas.
Yeah. Well, today's trip down the Turnpike was brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com.
I'm waiting to see a Drizzly bar.
Yes, right.
There you go.
Why would you? Drizzly bar should just bring it to your house.
Well, that's what you can order from the bar
Yeah,
down the
there
street.
you
It's a
go.
Drizzly bar, that sort of thing.
Nice.
All right. To get in touch with the show, you can call or text us at 609-512-5910, 609-512-5910, at Turnpike Sports for Facebook and Twitter. Info at Turnpike Sports Radio is our email address. Info at TurnpikeSportsRadio.com is our email address. Don't forget to order your International Bikini Team calendar for 2019. Info at internationalbikini-team.org is the email address for your ordering information. And you can catch the show on your smart TVs, Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV. Just head on over to Binge Networks and you can check us out there. Also, you can catch the show it's distributed through iHeartMedia, iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and YouTube.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more Turnpike Sports with more interesting things about the brackets. So stick around. We'll be right back. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from Turnpike Sports with this week's Bet Flash. MGM Resorts and Major League Soccer have entered into a sports betting partnership. Under the 4-year deal, MGM will have access to data generated by the league in exchange for signage at MLS events and a jointly developed free-to-play game to be released later this year. MGM also agreed to bring more Major League Soccer events to the Las Vegas area. Missouri Assemblyman Cody Smith has introduced a sports betting bill which has received some major endorsements. Both the Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals have endorsed the bill, which contains a royalty fee to the leagues. An MLB spokesperson stated that the measure has consumer protections and a strong regulatory framework. And finally, it's March Madness time, and the American Gaming Association has estimated that $8.5 billion will be bet on the brackets. So where is all the money going? DraftKings Sportsbook has reported that 33% of the money has gone on Duke, with Gonzaga receiving 10% of the money to win it all. From the seaside to the desert, from the betting lines to the sites online, Turnpike Sports has got you covered. And be sure to follow us on Twitter at Turnpike Sports. Ever wonder how a generation of millennials made millions with an iPhone just by following their passions? How some went from living in their parents' basements to becoming more famous than movie stars? For decades, there were technologies, companies, products, and market conditions all paving the way for today's social media infrastructure. The new film Influencer takes you on a journey to meet some of these people and technologies while exploring the mind and the day-to-day lives of social media influencers. Get an inside look into the world of social media influencers and the impact they have. Go on a journey inside the digital revolution. Check out Influencer today. Now available for a limited time only. Head on over to influencerfilms.com for a private screening of Influencer, an inside look at the digital revolution. That's influencerfilms.com for a private screening of Influencer, an inside look at the digital revolution. Now available for a limited time only.
You've been hearing me talk about MyPillow and the benefits of using it to get a good night's sleep, alleviate your sore neck and back, and the special deal you can get from MyPillow through the show. Well, not only can you pick up the special deal for 4 MyPillows when you use promo code CARDS, but now you can get $100 off your purchase of the MyPillow mattress. Yeah, that's right, the MyPillow mattress. The MyPillow mattress comes with a 10-year warranty and a 120-day money-back guarantee. The MyPillow mattress is made up of 3 unique layers, providing you the comfort and support to fall asleep and stay asleep all night. It even has the luxurious Dream Soft cover, which is stain-resistant and stays cool all night. Just head on over to MyPillow.com, click on the MyPillow mattress link, and enter promo code CARDS at checkout to get $100 off your order. Or call 1-800-319-7913 to order by phone. That's MyPillow.com or call 1-800-319-7913 and use promo code CARDS. Better sleep starts with MyPillow.
Free stuff is awesome, but free stuff that will spice up your bedroom is even better. Just go to adamandeve.com and select almost any one item for 50% off, and then we'll load on the free stuff. Just enter this very exclusive code, BABE16 at checkout, and you'll get 10 tantalizing free gifts, including a sexy item for him, a special toy for her, and a third item you'll both enjoy. And 6 extra special bonus items that are sure to rev your engine, pique your curiosity, and even blow you away. Plus, free shipping! Always sent in discreet packaging. Go to adamandeve.com now. Get 50% off plus the 10 free gifts when you enter the exclusive offer code BABE16. That's BABE16, because without it, no free stuff. That's BABE16 at adamandeve.com.
We'll get right back to the show, but I want to take a minute to talk to you about Bean Genius. How would you like your coffee delivered right to your door every month, maybe 2 times a month? Well, now that can happen with Bean Genius. Bean Genius sells freshly roasted coffee from some of the best independent coffee roasters in the country at beangenius.com. And Bean Genius actually learns their customers' individual taste preferences, then suggests future coffee blends for them. Well, how do they do that? Well, this is the cool thing about Bean Genius. Over at beangenius.com, they use an algorithm which learns the coffee flavors you like and then pairs up what you like with the coffee that they have in stock. And it's all based upon you. Every time you order, the system learns. The system learns your preferences as you go along and order more and more coffee. And now, all our listeners at Turnpike Sports can get a special offer. You head on over to beangenius.com/subscription, and you'll be able to get 10% off your purchase when you use our promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E, at checkout. That's 10% off at beangenius.com/subscription with promo code PIKE, P-I-K-E. beangenius.com, the smart specialty coffee subscription service.
I bet you $20 I can get you gambling before the end of the day.
No way.
I'll give you 3-to-1 odds.
No.
5-to-1.
No.
10-to-1.
You're on.
Welcome back to Turnpike Sports. You know, here at Turnpike Sports, we really try and be professional, but
doesn't happen.
We try, but nothing was more unprofessional than ESPN this week when it came to the women's bracket. Doug, you want to let everyone know what the 4-letter network did?
The 4-letter network 4-lettered up.
Yeah, they 4-lettered up.
Basically, everyone knows when it's time for March Madness. ESPN has these shows called bracketology.
Sure.
And they did one for the men's Selection Sunday show. The women have Selection Monday.
And it's always a big event, too, because it's always great to see those teams that are on the bubble. They usually have a big event where all the team is sitting around and they have the cameras there. And, you find out your team is in and you didn't think your team was going to be in. And you find out you made it and everyone's jumping for joy.
That's why they have the viewing parties.
That's why they have the viewing parties. And that's why they have it specifically timed out when they reveal the brackets.
And what was going on in this, it was during the earlier part of Monday. Now, the Selection Monday show was set for 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. And as Dick Vitale was doing his ESPNU bracketology show for the women's brackets, as he's talking, people started noticing they were showing the finished brackets.
Yeah, they were
rotating them.
They were showing sections of the finished brackets, and I guess if you watched long enough, you could actually piece together the entire bracket.
Well, that was the beautiful thing about Twitter nowadays.
I know.
Everyone watching this, people were piecing it together as it was being put together.
It's amazing. The audience pieced it together. By the way, ESPN was wrong in what they were doing. But, I don't know what was going on. I guess it was a mistake in their back office somewhere. Or
well, what
happens
is the NCAA Women's Basketball Association, or they're part of that. They send over the finished bracket. They know what's been selected. They just do an announcement later on in that day. So they sent over the bracket as normal, and the tech crew started just doing it. And I guess they didn't really think too much of it.
Yeah.
But as it was going along, ESPN even noticed it.
Well, you know what they were doing? They were just putting sections up. People, they didn't think they were, people were going to put it together, I guess. If that was their thinking, I guess that's what they were thinking.
Well, nowadays with social media, you got to assume, there are some smart people.
People had screenshots on Twitter, and they basically had the full bracket.
So what happened was they realized this was going on, and instead of staying with their schedule 7 p.m., both NCAA women and also ESPN made the announcement that they were going to be doing the selection show at 5 p.m.
Which is bad because, you know what? You put it at a certain time. Everyone gets there at a certain time. The cameras have to get there in a certain time. The team, everyone associated with the team. I don't know if there are family members with the team that are at these things.
Well,
so
to
mess up the scheduling like that is crazy.
They really 2 hours wasn't that bad. If it was more than 2 hours, I think it would have been a problem. But they did it within 2 hours. I don't think the viewing parties were affected too much. I think a lot of the suspense was taken out of it.
Yeah, I think so.
And I feel bad for that because
it
didn't happen with the men's.
No.
I wonder what would have happened if it happened with the men's.
Oh, I don't know.
That would have been a very interesting situation if that exactly happened with the men's bracket, because that's a big show for ESPN. But they apologized.
Well, it's a big moment in sports because last night, what was it? Or the night when they chose the teams in the brackets. What they showed was the reactions of the teams, and that was such a big thing. That was such a joyous moment and for the kids, and it was such an exciting moment for their fans. So for them to do something like that, I know it's a mistake. I'm sure they'll never do it again. They haven't done it in the past, and they'll never do it again, so it was a big mistake. But, hey, you know what?
Yep.
Such is life.
But that happened with the women's. There were some quirky things with the men's division, too. You have a couple different things set up here that were kind of odd to me anyway. Kansas, if they make it to the event, to the Sweet 16, they'll be playing a home game.
Yeah, there's a couple situations like that. Kansas is a very good team too, and to give them a home field advantage, it's pretty interesting.
Yeah, no, I don't know how often that's happened, but it was interesting to read that you got at least Kansas getting a home game. You got Minnesota versus Louisville, which is a battle of the battling Patinos. Actually, Louisville was Patino's old team, and his son coaches Minnesota.
Yeah, I know. It'd be interesting.
So that's an interesting one. One of the other ones I found kind of interesting, or two other I found interesting. it looks like they're setting this up for a Duke North Carolina championship.
Yeah, that's what they want. I think
because they got them on different sides of the bracket.
That's what everyone wants. Someone said, why are they on different sides? And then I think there was a big conflict between, Michigan shouldn't be on this side; they should be on the other side, and Michigan State should be on the other side, and that's why there's this conspiracy thing that everyone's trying to set up something from Duke and North Carolina.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if that actually plays out for them.
Sure.
I'd like to say that wasn't intentional, but
who knows?
Since they were selecting them, I think they kind of urged them on. Oh, before I forget, another team that might be playing a home game, Cincinnati. They get to play Iowa at Columbus, Ohio, which is right there.
Okay.
So
I'm hearing a lot of good things about Iowa, and I'm seeing some of these betting shows. They're really kind of thrilled with Iowa. So that's I'm always interested in the 8-9 matchups because that's where I usually lose it on the bracket. I usually take the 8 or the 9, and what happens is the other team wins because they're so close together.
I get screwed up on the 7 to 10s, all 4 of those ranks.
Yeah,
because those are the ones that actually have good teams. They're solid teams. They're all solid.
Like I said, those mid-level games. The 8 rank versus the 9 rank. That's the one I always. That's always the most challenging for me.
Yep. And this I found it. This is the last one I found that was a little quirky but interesting. LSU and Yale. They're playing against each other.
Yep.
It's a matchup of two schools under investigation.
Oh, because of the
Will Wade suspension over in LSU.
Okay.
The wiretap stuff. And Yale being part of that college admission scandal.
That's interesting.
That's going to be a weird thing. I don't know if it's going to affect the game at all.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think when it comes to the the scandal happening right now where they're getting kids in because they're being bribed or they're taking tests for them. I don't think any of the Yale players are involved. So
no,
I don't think
they're actually playing.
Yeah, because they're actual athletes, and so I don't think that's going to be a big thing. But it's interesting that someone's going to mention it.
Yeah,
on air.
That may be in the pregame too.
Yeah.
So it'll that may be worth watching just to see how many times it's mentioned, if it's mentioned at all, that sort of thing.
Sure.
Now, I came across an article from MassLive.com, and okay. I got to give credit to this guy, Nick O'Malley. He wrote it. Interesting article because he's not a college basketball fan. But he ranked all 68 mascots.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to go through all of these, but he hit on Syracuse's mascot Otto the Orange.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know they had
I guess,
something like that.
What else are they going to be? They're the Orange Men, so I guess you gotta. It's hard finding an orange animal, or I guess it's just what it's like. It's the college equivalent of Mr. Met.
I guess so.
Big-headed baseball guy walking around.
That's basically what it is.
What else are you going to do?
Yep. And then you always have the Ducks. Everyone mentions the Ducks.
Sure.
It's basically Donald Duck running around the court. But this one, I did not know what he was talking about here. St. Louis mascot is the Billikens.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what a Billiken is.
He says it's a gremlin-looking mythical good luck figure. I'm going to have to take a look at that.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to Google that.
I mean, I've never heard of that one before.
It's the greatest thing about some of these teams that you're going to see in the brackets is you're not really familiar with them, so you're not really familiar with their slogans or their names and things like that. So, yeah, there was what was the something was called the Zips or something like that. I forgot it was. They're not in this year's brackets, but they were last
a while
year.
ago.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they were.
So. Well, this year we have the Northern Kentucky Norse.
Okay.
So, obviously there's going to be Vikings, people dressed up as Vikings.
Interesting.
In the crowd.
I didn't know there was a Viking tradition in where? Kentucky?
Northern Kentucky.
Northern Kentucky.
Yeah, maybe there is. I don't know. I guess so. Leif Erikson made it out to Kentucky.
I guess so.
You have the Boilermakers, which is just a wide-eyed guy wearing the steel worker's hat. This is actually, I always found this one interesting, and he made a point of pointing this one out. Red Storm, St. John's.
Yeah, I know why they're called the Red Storm. It's because I believe they had
It
a
used to be
Native
the Red
American.
Men, yeah.
They had a Native American name, and I think they wanted to keep the red in the nickname.
Yep.
And
they went with Red Storm.
Were they Red Chiefs or Red? It's something.
They were Red Men.
Red Men, and I think they wanted to keep the red name. And
If I remember correctly, there were two teams called the Red Men, and they're both changed their names now.
I think so. Yeah.
But St. John's, their mascot is named Johnny Thunderbird, which is one of the coolest nicknames.
Yeah, I know. There's a story behind that, though. There's, I think, was it a contest?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had a contest to name it, and that's how it got named. So,
Okay.
But it's actually a really cool nickname, a mascot name. It's probably the coolest of the bunch. And his number one team, and I'm trying to get to it on my notes without making too much noise, the UC Irvine Anteaters.
Which is very interesting. I didn't,
I honestly, I would have put Johnny Thunderbird ahead of that one, just by the coolness factor. But I guess the Anteaters are unique, weird.
Yeah, it's very weird. I mean, I would guess they're the only team named the Anteaters.
That's it.
I
Yep.
mean, I'm very curious why they chose that name. I mean,
you know what?
I don't know why they chose that name.
There must have been a reason for it, but and also I noticed a couple others. UCF, the Knights, their mascot is named Nitro.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
That's good.
and it's a big old knight walking around with his armor on and everything else.
Nitro. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not N, it's KN. Yeah, and Colgate Raiders have nothing to do with Oakland.
I never knew they were called the Raiders. I've always referred to them as Colgate. I've never referred to them once as the Raiders.
I'm assuming when someone like that uses the name Raiders, they're talking about the Pirates.
Yeah, probably.
You know, attacking pirates. Like Seton Hall is Pirates.
Sure.
So, the Catamounts of Vermont is Big Cats.
Yeah,
you know,
because there's actual catamounts in Vermont.
That's a
So
that's a state animal.
That makes sense.
So, but no, if you want to check it out, it's over on masslive.com. It's still up there. It's actually a really good article, really fun to read. So it's a little different, and it's kind of something different than just the normal bracket talk.
Yeah, now you have this extra element to watch for in the brackets.
Yeah, and it'll be fun.
Sure. I just want to remind everyone that this portion of Turnpike Sports was sponsored by the Michigan Online Lottery. Choose from over 50 different online lottery games today, including their new game Prince of Hearts with a top prize of $60,000, all online at the Michigan Lottery. And now get 10 free games of Queen of Diamonds when you sign up using our promo code Radio10 at themichiganlottery.com. That's promo code Radio10 at michiganlottery.com.
All right, everybody, that's it for this week. Enjoy March Madness, and we'll catch you after the tournament is all completed.
Hey, good luck with your brackets, everyone. We'll see you next time on the Turnpike.